Network. My name is Kingsley Mano, and I'm very happy to be here this evening to bring you up to speed with the latest happening revolving around the world of sports. To open our menu this evening, Toby Amusan, granting World Athletic Championship title defense. And still talking about the World Athletic Championship, Fitz Keith Jurgen wins another world title at World Athletic Championship. And in football, Mason Greenwood faces rejection from multiple clubs. This and many more will be yours after the short timeout. Please stay with us.
With the goal. Goalkeeper missed it. He does a right hand and down goes the ball straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on. So now this is when they're at their best. It's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in.
Ordinary on Atlantic Television Network. Joining me on today's edition of the show is Emmanuel Michael. Good evening to you, Michael, and welcome to Sport Extraordinary.
Good evening, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers out there. It's a beautiful evening out here.
Beautiful evening, and we're here to make sure that we'll bring you some interesting stories revolving around the world of sport. Let's start with the World Athletics Championship as the signature of all eyes, Toby Amusan, returned in time of 12.48 seconds to come first in Heat 5 of the women's 100 meters hurdle at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest yesterday. She overcame the challenge posed by Jamaica's Megan Tepper, who was second in 12.51 seconds, while Australia Michelle Jenneke was third in 12.71 seconds. She therefore qualified for the semi-final for the race. At time of 12.48 seconds is the third fastest in all the 5 heats. Now, the fastest time was returned by American Kendra Harrison in Heat 3, to return at 12.24 seconds. Harrison was followed by Bahamas' Devnil Chatton, who returned after 12.44 seconds. Interesting one for Toby Amusan. Michael, what do you make of the victory for her?
I think it's a nice one, going forward. I think this one will go a whole long way to clear the doubt of the AIU rather. She has been embroiled with the doping issue and all of this even before this tournament. That it was barely few days into when the tournament is about to kick off before the athletic body actually cleared her of any wrongdoing. So for me, I think this victory is a massive one for her, getting to the semi-final. But one area that I'm pretty much concerned is about her timing, the timing to which she returned. Returning 12.48 seconds. For me, I think I'm worrisome in the sense that if we actually had other top stars, competing with her in that same category, I do not think that timing is perfect enough. If we have the likes of, Camacho Quinn, Tia Jones, these are renowned professional in that same field. If she had competed with these guys that I just mentioned, I do not see her coming first. So for me, I think she needs to improve, much more in her timing going forward.
Interesting one, and look forward to see how Toby, of course, will be able to get past, of course, opponents going forward in this one. But Michael, how sure, of course, is title defense?
Not really sure, but one thing that is certain is that she's on course for her title defense. But how sure are we? That question will possibly linger until possibly if she can get to the final before we can begin to think of or talk about how sure are we that she's going to lift this very well, get any medal. But for me, like I said, I think she's on course to defend this very well. But I can't really pinch my tent now and say yes, she will go all the way to to the final and win this very well. Not until we get there, because there are certain there are some hurdles that she needs to cross first before we can truly pinch our tent and beat our heart and say yes, that all is very clear. But as it stands right now, she's in a pole position.
Interesting one. Let's see how it goes for Toby Amusen. Let's quickly move on as we take a look at all the happenings as well as the morning section of the 5-0 for the ongoing World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary witnessed the advancement of Favour Philly and Alaba Akintola to the semi-finals of both the women's and men's 200 meters respectively. The African indoor record holder Favour Philly, who is coming from a nagging injury that saw her miss most of the outdoor season, finished fourth in his one of the women's 200 meters with a time of 32.66 seconds to qualify for the semi-final as the fastest non-automatic qualifier across 7 hits. Atsu Nikio Strashman won the race at 32.31 seconds over Dario Neta, who got 32.39 seconds. National champion Alaba Akintola grabbed one of the automatic qualification spots after initially placing fourth in 20.54 seconds, but was upgraded to third when Ryan Zeze, who originally got third, was eventually disqualified despite winning under a protest for a post start. World silver medalist Kenel Ben Narek took control of the race in 20.01 seconds ahead of Alexander Ogando, who got 20.14 seconds in that particular one. But it's good one now that Favour Philly, of course, and Alaba Akintola, they move on. Now, this is Philly's third World Championship and the first for Akintola. Now, she made the 400 meters semis in Doha 4 years ago and also now missed out on the sport and the women's 200 meters final in Oregon, where she ranked 9th overall in the semis. Impressive one for Nigerian athletes at the moment. Favour Philly in the semi-final, so as Alaba Akintola.
Yeah, for me, I think Favour Philly coming from the back of, having struggled a bit even before this tournament, courtesy of injury so far, but she has been able to at least also pull the string as well by making a podium finish. I think it's a nice one going forward, and I believe that her experience, in the stage will also count for her. This is her third time of making it to the World Championship. So I believe that experience will go a whole long way, to speak in her favor. I'm just worried about Akintola, who is making his first, international outing. This is the angle I'm not too, convinced about, what he can be able to bring to the table there. But for Favour Philly, I'd strongly keep my fingers crossed that she's going to do more better, as the competition progresses.
All right, let's give our fingers crossed and see how the events unfold for Nigerian athletes. I hope that, of course, they will be able to move on and get something very, very huge, as it stands in the coming days. Still talking about the World Athletics Championship, defending champion Fitz Kipyegon leader the metric mile from start to finish as a later push from Dutchwoman Hazanet bronze. The Kenyan dominated the event final of the 2023 World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary yesterday, leading the track race from start to finish as she comfortably retained her world title, an event she has already set up the world record in this year. Kipyegon was unchallenged by the field, winning a 3 minute 54.87 seconds, with the real interest coming behind her. Ethiopia Derebi Weteji slotted in for second in 3 minutes 55.69 seconds, but Stefana Zen, who had already missed out on 10,000 meters gold by falling with just 10 meters left in the race, did her usual strategy of running the first half of the race at the tail of the pack. Hazan, who set out to challenge for 3 goals at this championship, ensured she would take a medal home after she was left empty-handed in a late coming together with Sergey over 10,000 meters with 5,000 meters, which Kipyegon will also contest to come as well. But was such an impressive one for Fitz Kipyegon, of course, bagging her third world title for this year.
Classic display that from her, I must say, and this is what champions are made up of. You know, she was just enjoying herself in the track yesterday. I saw the opponent who came second was actually trying so hard to catch her, you know, at the tail end of it. But for me, I think she was just enjoying herself because her skills was unmatchable yesterday. It was very obvious looking at the time into which she returned. So for me, I think this is what a champion is made of. When the chips are down, it's left for you to be able to deliver when it comes to the international stage. So for me, I think it was a great one. You see the joy and happiness in her face yesterday. It clearly tells you that indeed she knows what she's doing. So for me, congratulations to her.
Congratulations to Peter Kipyegon. We hope, of course, that she continue with this level of momentum going forward in her career. Talking about the World Athletics Championship, Barry wins high jump gold, high jump gold, and Mara, Gamara Timberry, has won his first ever World High Jump title after a thrilling display at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest. The reigning Olympic champion jumped the world lead of 2.36 meters to claim gold, with the USA Drew Harrison finishing second and count back despite clearing the same height. Third place and the bronze medal went to Qatar Motors Bashim, who failed his 3 attempts to clear 2.36, and this is the first time Bashim has not been crowned champion at a major championship since he finished second at Rio 2016. Despite being Olympic champion, Barry has never tested victory in a world championship, finishing fourth in his last outing at Oregon 2022. What do you make of it, Barry, his first ever world championship title?
He has been able to break the mere success syndrome. How many times he has tried and nothing is coming for, but this time around he has to put his head down, and work on himself rather. And we see the result. It was very obvious, and you can see the happiness in his faces yesterday. It clearly tells you that indeed, when you put so much effort in what you do, there might be one or two challenges and ups and downs out there, but if you keep on keeping on, showing that strong character of what champion is made of, at the end of it all, he's going to, pave way, and that is what we see of him yesterday.
Interesting one. Let's see how it goes. Of course, talking about the medal table of the World Athletics Championship, United States of America sits top the table with about 12 medals now or more as it stands.
Yeah.
So the medal table are shaping up.
Exactly.
That was the kind, of course, to bring you the latest as concerns the medals, because events are unfolding and athletes, of course, are grabbing medals, at the moment. But Team Nigeria are yet to register their name on the medals table, Michael.
Very disappointing, I must say, because at a time where other African countries is also, having 1 or 2 medals, to show for it. This is day 5, and we should expect Nigeria to at least register their name in the medals table out there. But quite unfortunate, we've not seen that happen. The likes of Kenya, Ethiopia, Gambia as well, Morocco, also registering their name in the medals table. How much more we that we are the giant of Africa? We shouldn't just be giant of Africa for the namesake, but we should also prove that when it has to do with all areas of our life. As when it has to do with sport, we must also replicate that in the track and field as well, to register our names, in the medals table. I think this is very, very important, very, very key, because if we don't register our name in the medals table, we look as though we just went there for jamboree, and that would be, short of expectations for me. So I urge all of our athletes that is out there to at least, step up their game. And I know for certain that 1 or 2, gold or bronze medal will come our way. We are just hoping that indeed, as the competition progresses, our athletes will also raise the bar as well, so as to meet up with the standard to give us, medals. At least let us register our name in the medals table. At least it will give us confidence going forward.
All right, so we hope the likes of Favor Philly, Laba Kintola, and the likes of Toby Amusen, of course, their medal hopefuls, and we hope they can be able to give Nigeria a medal in this particular award. Now, let's move on. Let's take a look at things on the show. Serena Williams has given a birth to her second daughter. Her husband announced yesterday, adding that both were happy and healthy after the difficult birth of the tennis star first child left her fighting for her life. Now, he said, I'm grateful to report that our house is teeming with love, a happy and a healthy newborn girl, and happy and healthy mama. Her husband, of course, put up down there. And talking about Alex Sohona, and posted on his Instagram, that's the husband of Serena Williams. It was such an impressive one for the 41-year-old, former tennis champion.
Good news, I must say, and I was one of those who was very happy and pleased to, read or hear of the news about her safe delivery. We know what she passed through at the first instant when she had when she delivered her first baby. She nearly took her life, but this time around, at least she was able to deliver successfully. I think for me, it's a big news and a nice one. That tennis lovers all over the world must celebrate and also join in that euphoria of celebration to say congratulations to Serena Williams, because at least it's one tennis player that have put smiles in the faces of tennis lovers over the couple of years that she was active on the court. So for me, I think I was very pleased and glad to hear of the good news. I say congratulations to the family.
Congratulations to the family of Serena Williams, and we'll pray that God, of course, give her all that she desires to take care of her children, at this point in time. At this point, we'll take a short break, and when we come back from the break, of course, we'll bring you the latest coming from the world of football. Please stay with us. Network, and of course bring you the latest evolving around the world of sports down here on Atlantic Television Network. Manuel Mike is here, of course. He's been giving us the latest revolving around the world of sport. Let's talk about the Nigerian Premier League, as the Nigerian Premier League Board of Executive has announced Tuesday, August 29th of 2023 as its tentative date for this year annual general meeting with the club stakeholders in anticipation of the league resumption on the 9th of September. The unofficial notice sent to 20 participants club in Nigeria Most League, the league chief operating officer David Snowemi explained that the meeting will create an avenue for discussing effective measures in organizing the upcoming season activities. Statement sent to club by electronic means also stated that the fixtures for the 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier League season will be drawn in the same event and on the same date in Abuja. Because that the chairman of the board, Bunga Elegbeleye, earlier mandated clubs to complete their documentation processing and player registration in due course for easy transition into the new season. Now, with the league resuming in the fortnight and some days, that's on the 9th of September, the clubs have been availed ample time to get their houses in order to avoid sanctions and reprisals that could lead to negative repercussions for the clubs like Rivers United, Rainbow Stars, Zimba, and Bender Insurance in CAF competition also under scrutiny. And this will be the first general meeting between the club stakeholders and the newly inaugurated MPFL board headed by Benga Elegbeleye after technical committee was set up days ago for the selection of the MPFL team of the month and an eventual team of the season at the end of the campaign. The selected players would be opportune to go on a tour to Spain for international club friendlies with top La Liga teams, the progress and development of the next generation of Chad Eagles in sight as it stands. And Michael, what do you make of this? We hear that this month, we'll see that on the 29th of August, next week, Tuesday, to say, we'll actually see this meeting, of course, come to reality. We'll talk about the resumption dates for the Nigerian Premier League. We heard that will be discussed. The draw for the fixtures, of course, will be done as well in that meeting. Does this portend the resumption to come to reality after the previous postponements?
I can't really pinch my tent and say yes, that this AGM, this annual general meeting is a way to finalize, to make sure that the league kickoff date should not be extended again. I think there are so many other issues that is very key that they must also focus as well. But for me, I think this is a good template for them to come up, to disagree and agree on certain issues, to be able to iron out one or two issues out there that may serve as an impediment for some of the clubs that will not want to, kick off the, the season together when the time comes. So for me, I think there are so many matters they need to iron out, so that at least when the league, eventually kick off, we are not going to see any hiccups or complaints from, clubs, and the body that is responding. So for me, I think there are other major key issues that need to also look at this annual general. One of those major key issues is how to carry the fans along. Because, we've not been able to, have a place for the fans when it has to do with our club activities. We find it very difficult, getting the opinion of fans out there. And fans are very integral when it has to do with clubs dealing. We are just hearing the news that is because of the fans, reaction. That is why Mason Greenwood have been rusticated from Manchester United squad. That is to tell you how integral and how important the fans are to clubs out there. But here in Nigeria, we do not even consider the place of the fans. We just go out there and do our thing. Then when it has to do with match days, you expect fans to turn out in their mass to come and cheer you to victory, whereas you are not including them, in the activities of the club. So this is one key area that they need to look at very critically in this annual general meeting that they want to hold. And again, another very important and salient angle is that they must not, postpone the kickoff of the league. They've done the first postponement, which taking it to September 9th or thereabout. So for me, I think the kickoff date should remain sacrosanct. There should be no shifting of any further, kickoff of the league, because there are some clubs that have prepared. In short, all of the clubs have prepared, ready to go. So for me, it will be, it will not speak good of us when it has to, when we get to the 9th of September, we begin to hear a different issues that the, kickoff date have been shifted to so day. So for me, these are crux of the matter. These are the key areas that they need to, iron out issues so as to be able to move our league, forward.
But you talked about, for the league now to carry the fans, along, especially the teams to carry their fans along, how do you think, the Nigerian Premier League board, the MPFL teams, how do you think they should go about, in trying to make sure they integrate the fans in the coming season?
For me, one of the possible way to carry the fans along is to create a platform, either social media or whatever handle that you can be able to say, okay, yes, this place is solely dedicated for the fans. If they want to lodge their complaint or they want to add their opinion on some certain vital issues about the club, this is the portal to which fans of different clubs should also go there and make their needs known. And again, the league body as well should also have their own personal platform as well, that supporters of different clubs can also come and air their opinion in one or two areas they feel is a challenge to them. And by so doing, you see the fans being carried along. And again, they should also do well to fervently update the fans to that, that platform that they are going to create. They should, do well to be updating the fans on the latest activities or dealings of the club as well. And by so doing, you discover that fans will take more interest in whatever the clubs is doing. And again, massive publicity is very key. Because if you take the media away from the activities of club, my brother, you are going nowhere. There will be need for massive publicity in different strata, be it print media, social media, television, and radio, just name them. There is need for clubs to do a serious publicity. Also create a channel where you can have interface with the fans. And by so doing, you can know the feelings of the fan. Because without that, I will assure you that our different stadia will continue to remain empty when league matches is being going on.
You talked about publicity. We hear that the league would now be streamed, will have a streaming site where the fans can go watch, the matches on each, match day. Do you think the Nigerian Premier League board, they've done enough for us to try to bring the league close, to the fans? And as well, would the fans buy into this approach?
Well, first, I would not say they've done badly. At least they must start from somewhere. That is why they have decided to take it from that angle, of trying to stream the games online for fans to be part, and parcel of the Nigerian Premier Football League. But for me, looking at the economical nosedive of the nation and how bad, people are suffering out there, that people even find it very difficult to eat 3 square meals a day. Instead of you removing 500 or 1,000 to go and subscribe data so as to watch, your local team. Many Nigerians, I will tell you for sure, because I know what they are passing through out there, we prefer going to view center or some other places, to do different things other than subscribing a data with their hard-earned money just to make sure they're streaming. But they should have brought it more closer to us. What if they are able to strike a deal with the national television, talking about, NTA, which is the national television? If you can strike a partnership deal with this, outfit, I believe that should be the best platform and format to which you can also carry Nigerians along with this league. But that streaming angle, I think there are some, impediment that will hinder many people not following the league, which is the financial aspect of it. You getting to go and buy data to want to, stream. And how long will you sit down as a typical Nigerian? Let us be truth with ourselves. How long will you sit down to purchase a data to watch Nigerian Premier League match for complete 90 minutes? These are some of the questions. We need to tell ourselves the truth, because if we don't divulge this truth, the problem will still stick there. In as much as I'm giving Benga Elegbeleya credit for some of the new innovation that he has been able to bring into the league, he should go a step further so as for us to have our leagues on national television. I think that would be more better.
All right, let's stay away from the Nigerian Premier League as we take a look at the CAF Women Champions League qualifiers. As Nigerian Women Football League champions, Delta Queens has qualified for the semi-final for the ongoing WAFO B CAF Women Champions League playoff with a game to spare. The Nigerian side comprehensively defeats the USFA of Burkina Faso 2 goals in the opening group game for the trio of Alabiye, Chinasta Ago, and Messi Doko scoring the goals. Due to the withdrawal of one team from the group, Delta Queens was given a day off on Tuesday and Samdali confirmed USFA. The game between both sides ended in a draw. That's 1-1 draw, which automatically qualified Delta Queens for the semi-final or for the competition, irrespective of the results they get from the last match against Delhi of Benin Republic on Friday. Let's see how that one, of course, pounds out in the coming days. Both Delta is looking very optimistic of getting something this time around. Let's stay away from that as we take a look at other matters on the show. It's all about the FIFA rankings, and the Super Falcons of Nigeria have climbed its place to 32nd best team in the world, according to the latest FIFA rankings for women. The Super Falcons exceeded most expectations when they reached a knockout round of 2023 World Cup in Australia and New Zealand from a tough first round group that had Olympic champion Canada and co-host Australia. They also stretched European champions and eventual World Cup finalist England to a penalty shootout to determine who advanced closer to the semi-final, which of course England were better in that one. The Super Falcons have toast remained the leading team in Africa ahead of South Africa, who are ranked 45th, Cameroon ranked 56th, Morocco ranked 58th, and Ghana 59 as it is. First of all, let's start with that impressive ranking for the Super Falcons in the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. They were ranked 10th. I don't know what you make of that ranking. Does that really portend that the Falcons are gradually getting back to their best?
Well, for me, I do not think that they are gradually getting back to their best, talking about the World Cup ranking. There's something we need to get very clear. Let us put it in proper perspective. The World Cup ranking and the FIFA ranking. These are different things altogether. Now, we are ranked number 10th in the World Cup ranking. Fine. This is because of the scintillating performance that our guests were able to put up out there. Because nobody gave them the chance, to, square up against the likes of, Australia, Canada, which other country that we played against? Which there were Iceland. Even Iceland. They were even a bit ahead of us when it has to do with the ranking. We were ranked, 40th heading to that World Cup, and people did not give the girls any chance to be able to spring any surprise out there. But fortunately enough, we managed to scale through the group stage. So for me, I think that was a nice one, and the hard, fight that we were able to put up against the Lionesses. Talking about the England women national team, they were able to put up a very strong fight for themselves. That is why they find themselves in the 10th position in the World Cup ranking. So for me, I think, but for us to say that we are gradually improving, or are we gradually getting back to our best? For me, I do not believe, because looking at the World Cup ranking, the FIFA ranking, we are situated at 32. We jumped about 8 points clear, what we used to be, which is quite commendable. But as a giant of Africa, and the country, Super Falcons, that holds the record of one of the countries that have never missed the FIFA Women World Cup. Now we dominate Africa, 9-time champion of Africa, fine and good. But when we go out for the world stage, we fail to replicate the fact that we are the giant of Africa. So for me, there is no much improvement. If the likes of Morocco, South Africa, can also be knocked out in the round of 16, which is the same round of 16 that the Super Falcons went at, what is the difference? What is the improvement? Because Morocco here is making the appearance for the very first time, and they went so far to get to the round of 16. And we that have not missed any World Cup for any year, we also exited the competition in the round of 16. What is the difference? So for me, I think there's no major significant improvement. There is need for us to go back and begin to start a proper work right now. Take a cue from what Spain did, because Spain started from the grassroots. They won the under-17, won the under-20, and now won the World Cup. It clearly tells you the progression. But for we just want to sit here. When you get to major tournament, then there's this fire brigade approach when we just go and handpick foreign-based players and boom, we go to a competition. If we manage to scale through the group stage, we're beating our heart on our chest and say we've done it. My brother, I want to tell us that we have not gotten it right. The ranking is deceptive for me, going by our performance and going by the experience that Super Falcons have garnered all these years. I expect them at most to be at 20th position, from 20th downward. At least that would be fair. But for us to stay at 32, Giant of Africa, and say that we should be happy there is an improvement, my brother, I beg to disagree. There is no improvement. We need to tell ourselves the truth.
All right, let's see what comes up for the Super Falcons of Nigeria going forward from here. We hope, of course, that they continue to get better than what was seen. Meanwhile, FIFA has just released the statistics for the most outstanding players of this edition held in Australia and New Zealand, and it comes as no surprise that African stars shone brightly. Nigerian Christy Uchebe emerged as the 7th best tackler throughout the tournament, making her the finest from Africa with staggering 36 tackles. Uchebe also scaled the charts, landing in the top 4 for tackles made per 90 minutes. South Africa Bonkega Kamede was not far behind, securing the 6th spot with 7.0 tackles per 90 minutes. And then that's what we saw, of course, for that one. But we hear that Luis Rubez, that's the FA president for the Spanish national team, has been asked, of course, to resign as due to the case they actually, of course, gave Jennifer Camuso at the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Well, for me, I think that should be the proper thing, because don't forget, so many kids all across the globe, they are watching, and the internet has gone viral now that a kid of less than 18 years can have access to certain informations as well. And this kind of information is an eyesore, to the kids out there. So for me, I think if you want to maintain its integrity, it is high time to train the tower, because I learned that some government functionaries and officials, top government functionaries out there in Spain, is also calling, for he said that he should train the tower. And for me, he has to go back to the Spanish society. Over time, women have come out, publicly to, level a complaint or to lodge this kind of complaint that they are being sexually molested and harassed by the female folk out there. And for such man that is handling such sensitive position to go to the world stage and display such a thing, I think for me it is an eyesore and a dent in the image of the Spanish Football Federation. For me, I think the wise thing for him is for him to train the tower. Though he came up to make some apologies there and also say that he did that without devoid of any negative thought in his heart. He did that maybe because of the euphoria of the game. You know what it means, winning a major trophy at such a stage. You'll be carried away with the happiness and the euphoria of the game. But for me, I think it goes beyond the euphoria of the game. The Spanish authorities, they have an image to protect. And for me, I think it will be very, very wise that he throws it in the towel.
All right, let's see how it goes from here. Luis Rubez, of course, puts his resignation later because we hear the Deputy Prime Minister in Spain has actually asked him to resign. And the Prime Minister himself, of course, has said that his apology is not enough. So keep our fingers crossed on things. And Michael, reports coming down as well is the fact that George Vidal, the coach of the Spanish women national team, there was a footage going around social media that while the celebration was going on due to the victory of the ladies. He mistakenly or intentionally, I don't know how to put it at this point, laid his hand on the chest of one of his player.
Well, you and I, we saw the video, we were discussing that even before, behind the scene, before we came to the studio. For me, I think advantage or inadvertently, I think that is very wrong. I want to also re-emphasize, this thing has been going on within the Spanish, authority, within the Spanish society. And the girls, they've frowned at such a behavior. So any official from the Spanish authority, you are manning one position, one sensitive position or the other, you should be very wary of these things that has been going on within the society, that the society frown at such things. And we are seeing it, repeating itself. So for me, I think it's a very bad one. Though probably in the video when that we saw, there was nothing, negative or directly intentional to that effect. But, people read different meanings from certain things because of the precedence of what, they had said in the past and because of the culture and the society. So for me, I think this is the reason why, this matter is popping up here and there. Even normally, watching at your screen, you might not even possibly want to, take time to be thinking of such. But for me, like I said, it has to boil down to what the society frowns at out there in Spain. So for me, I think it is wrong. And if they want to keep the standard, they want to sanitize the Spanish system by making sure that everything goes, properly to align, to be in tandem with this society. I think you need also to resign because we can't make a case for one man to resign and leave the other who made the same mistake. So for me, two of them need to be booted out if they truly need insanity within the system.
All right, let's see how it goes. A whole lot coming from the Spanish team. They won the World Cup, and a reaction, of course, has been coming down from the camp. I'll keep my fingers crossed and see what comes up in the coming day. But still talking about women issue, in sports. Mason Greenwood, we know he was in trouble at some point ago with his partner, and that has actually cost him a whole lot because the whole world now, the world is against him. And from what we hear the past 2 days, Manchester United have parted ways with the man. And courtesy of that, the man has been finding it difficult, of course, to get another team as a stand. Because from what it is now, we hear AS Roma were making some gestures to get him. But Jose Maria has come out to debunk that. As a fact, the team that Steven Gerrard, of course, is the manager, Gerrard has also come out to say that no, as a fact, they don't have the relationship in getting, Mason Greenwood, at this point in time. But first, Michael, what do you make of the decision of Manchester United not accepting this chairman? Because as of at this point, we hear that the case, was actually being dropped, and there was no outcome of him being guilty. Even Manchester United confirmed after much investigation. But the fans and the staffs at Manchester United do not really want the man to come play for the team. Should that be a yardstick? Is that a very good ground for Manchester United, of course, to take that decision of letting Mason Greenwood go?
Well, first, I want to say that it's quite, unfortunate for a promising youngster such as Mason Greenwood to be facing this kind of, ill treatment, if I may put it that way, because the competent court of jurisdiction have, find him not wanting, of those, allegation that was leveled against him. But, some section of the supporters are also making a very strong case that if actually Manchester United as a football club decided to reintegrate him back or reinstate him back into the squad, that they are going to, stop being a fan of Manchester United. And key staffs of the club's authority as well have also threatened as well, especially the women angle, the women folks have also threatened to, resign if actually Mason Greenwood is reinstated into the team. And again, I think for me, Manchester United, I want to say here that they are very careful, of what they are doing because, the image of Manchester United is paramount. And such a brand like Manchester United that all over the world, people know their reputation. There is a great image that they've been able to build for themselves. And it will look awkward if they allow, such reputation that have built for the club over time just to be dented by one careless mistake or the other. Though, like I said earlier, he has not been found wanting. But for me, I think for the sanctity and for the image of the club, and for the fans as well, just like I mentioned earlier about, our league here carrying our fans along, because the fans form, the fulcrum of a club, or they have a major stake in the club, because these are the people that comes to buy the tickets. They come out to watch your games, to support you, to cheer you to victory. They make necessary suggestion when the need arises, just like they are advocating that the Man U owners should, sell off the club right now. Their opinion counts so much that you cannot, overlook their opinion. So for me, I think Manchester United did the right thing, by making sure that they keep to the image of the club, because, like I said, the image of the club is very important. If Mercy Greenwood was reintegrated into the club without any further internal investigation. Now, note that Manchester United were very careful about this. That is why even when a competent court of jurisdiction discharged and acquitted Mercy Greenwood, they had to set their own, panel of inquiry, internal panel of inquiry. That is to tell the public that they truly care about the image of the club. If not, when he was cleared, Manchester United should have reintegrated him into the team automatically. But to tell you how sensitive Manchester United as a club, are, that is why they had to state their own internal inquiry to actually know the true, crux of the matter. And the fans are not happy about, what they alleged, of what Greenwood did. And for me, I think they are on the right track. But on the other side, you want to say that they have not given him a fair hearing, because I think for me, after that issue, they should have relegated him to the under-21. Possibly, from there he can be able to build up confidence, and that will take away some of some negative comments, because people, as time progresses, some of the fans will tend to forget that, and gradually you can integrate him into the team, because this is a nice player that they will definitely miss at this time around, because Manchester United is short of options up front there.
Talking about Mason Greenwood, of course, parting with Manchester United, and at this point is looking for a team. But the man has actually reconciled with his partner, and they both have a child, at the moment, and they're living happily. And at the end of the day, he wasn't found guilty. Taking a look at the gesture from the fans, and especially the fans of Manchester United and the world entirely, do you think, it has been a very good gesture from the fans, especially at that of Manchester United, to him?
Well, there are different perspectives to the story. Some other quarters are saying that, the reason why the people that were serving as the witness backed out of that very case was that the video evidence of that thing actually went to the public glare. Are you getting the point now? As he went to the public glare, then the people that were supposed to come and testify, which were the witness of the then girlfriend, now backed out. They refused coming to testify, and that is why the woman, talking about the girl, had to let the case lie down. So for me, I think it's because of that video, though they have not made that video, available to the public out there. But for me, I think it's because of that video that some of the girls in Manchester United angle are still furious about it, because you can't have such a video, staring you on your face, but just because some of the witness have backed out from coming to testify against you, and you say that the young man has been discharged and acquitted, whereas there are evidence which are the video that they refuse to come and testify, and they also refuse to bring it to the public glare. I think this is the reason why some of the fans are still agitating that Mason Greenwood should not be reinstated. So for me, I think it's a best decision for Manchester United, but I feel for the young man talking about Mason Greenwood. And again, I think there are other factors that also play the role, because one is that Mason Greenwood, his parents hails from Jamaica, so you can look at it in that angle. If they hail from Jamaica, John Terry in time past have also gotten himself in this kind of situation where we hear one or two issues that he was having an affair with his teammate's wife then. And again, Ryan Giggs of Manchester United, some time ago, we also had the same issue, that he was having an affair with the younger brother's wife. And all these things are British, players, and they did not take the matter this far. What about this one of Mason Greenwood that he has not been found, guilty? The matter is just blowing up as though he has committed, a crime that nobody else. I'm not advocating that, this kind of attitude or character is good. Of course, I frown at it in toto. But we should look at the human angle of it as well. Okay. Because this is a youth, and youth exuberance will also play in sometime.
Do you see the man getting a club anytime soon?
That would be difficult because this, bad image that he has been able to, entangle himself with is making club to be scared away from him. You just rule out some of those clubs that, have come out very publicly to denounce, any link connecting them to Mason Greenwood. It will be very difficult. And if he must get a new club, I think that should be away from England.
All right, at this point, we'll call it a wrap on the show. We'll be back tomorrow by 9 a.m. for Sports Talk. So want to join us, the promises to be another exciting time talking sports on Atlantic Television Network. Special thanks to Michael for doing justice on the show this evening.
It's always a pleasure doing this with you.
All right, we can't go without telling you that Fitz Kipchoge, she is a sports extraordinaire on today's edition of the show for winning her third world title at the World Athletics Championship. Don't forget, peace and unity with the pathways to progress. My name is Kinsley Bandwell. Thanks for watching.